Well, the leaves outside are changing colors, and it's certainly starting to get a little bit cooler, but the fall sports action is heating up tonight on SEC Sports. As we welcome you inside White Bear Lake South Campus for some volleyball action, some Suburban East and Metro East volleyball action, as the White Bear Lake Bears welcome their neighbors to the south, the North St. Paul Polars, inside the White Bear Lake gym. I'm David Schuyler, the sports producer for Suburban Community Channels. We had a little bit of a shortage of crew members tonight, so I'll be filling in, doing the announcing. And we got Clayton Johnson and Miranda Zabel running camera for us up top. Stephen and Arlen in the truck. The starters are being announced right now. Actually, I believe it's the non-starters for White Bear Lake here on Youth Night at White Bear Lake as they're tossing out mini volleyballs and it looks like t-shirts to the crowd. Coming into this match tonight, it's been, as by definition, an average year for the Bears so far as they're coming in with a 500 record. Just 4 matches played so far for the Bears. They stand with a 2-2 record on the season. The last match that they played was last week when they defeated St. Paul Central by a 3-2 margin. And they've actually alternated losses and victories thus far to this point in the season, with a loss to Tartan, a victory over Hutchinson, loss to Matamidi in the Battle of the Lake, and then a victory, as mentioned, over St. Paul Central last week. There you see Stephanie Blanda, the head coach of North St. Paul Volleyball that we are quite familiar with. She's now actually in her 10th season for the North St. Paul Polars and has had a successful tenure for them. It was just a couple of seasons ago when they made their first trip to the state tournament. Coming off a 10-12 season last year, as they had quite a bit of senior turnover when Lauren Stedman departed, and also Jenna Rebelke departed a couple last season, I believe it was as well. So a little bit of turnover from the Polars, and they've had a bit of a slow start to this one, the 2022 campaign, as they are 0-5-1 in their first 6 matches of the season, looking for their first win here against the Bears. Starters on the floor now for both teams. For the Polars, it'll be number 24, Jayana Meisner, who's up front, along with number 24, excuse me, I already said 24, along with number 11, Emily Jarozowitz, and number 9, Brianna Vang. But it'll be the Bears' Annika Olsen who starts with the serve. Dug out there, and then the spike attempt by Alara Yenner. Yenner, a familiar name for the Polars. It's returned by the Bears. Yenner going up for the hit, and that is a little bit too far. Alara Yenner, the junior outside hitter for the Polars, and they relied on her for the first 2 kill attempts there, but it was just a little bit too far. Ooh, and there's an ace for the Bears, Annika Olsen. Olsen was a centerpiece of the Bears team last season, so she'll be looking to carry the Bears as they go into this match. She is the senior setter for the Bears, so she'll be looking to make plays in the middle for them all match long. As that one is a little bit too far, so the Bears with the first 3 points of the match. Didn't quite catch who had the the hit over there for the Polars, but nonetheless it'll be Olsen for her 3rd straight serve. Dug out there by Yenner. And it's Jarozowitz who successfully gets the first point for the Polars. Serving now for North St. Paul will be Brianna Vang, the senior setter for the Polars. And that hit was a little too far. Unfortunately, the referee's stand is blocking my viewpoint of, oh, that was Kylie Gustafson, the outside hitter. Ooh, that one looked like it almost snuck in there, but didn't quite land inbounds for Kylie Gustafson. So 3 points for the Bears to start it, 3 points for the Polars, and we are all square as the tip attempt by Ella Stadter didn't quite make it over. So the Polars got themselves on a nice little 4-0 run to start this one off. Hang with the serve on the return. Oh, it's Olsen with the nice little teardrop set over the net to get the Bears back in control of the serve. Going back now to serve for the Bears will be Kylie Gustafson, the junior outside hitter. The southpaw with a nice serve. Little bit of indecisiveness there from the Polars, but it's returned over by Brenna Hobbs. And the spike attempt here. Nice dig out back by Vang. Excuse me. The kill attempt there just a little bit too far, so that'll be another point in favor of the Polars. Serving now is Jarosowicz. And that's yet another hitting error for the Bears. Not quite clicking with our offense yet are the Bears, as they've had a number of kill attempts that have all sailed a little bit too far, trying to find a rhythm here early on, and just have been unable to do so. Ooh, but a little changeup, and that one was unexpected by the Polars there, as Vang couldn't quite get the handle on the changeup. Probably expected it to come in hard. So it will be the Bears Stadther on the serve. Nice block up front there by Blessing Adebisi, number 11, the senior middle blocker for the Bears. Stadther on the serve. Ooh, Jenner with a nice dig. Vang with the up. And that was, I felt that might have been a little bit of a throw, honestly, but the refs let it play on. Jarosowicz with the hit, and the ref called it a throw there. He made a throwing motion, and he's saying a little bit of a throw there. So the point will be awarded to the Bears. The Polars did not agree with that one, because they were looking for an explanation, but as the ref said, it was just a little bit of a throw. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit or a lot, the point counts the same. Deflection off the kill attempt there. And the Bears are on a nice little roll here as Stadther maintains her third serve in a row. Ooh, and that one goes short. Substitution coming in now for the Polars is Angelina Vang, the senior defensive specialist, checking in as Jayana Meisner checks out. And it'll be Vang with the serve. Service error as she stepped over the line. The line judge back there was pointing at the line, so the point is awarded to the Bears. And it'll be the first set of serves for Bria Hill. Shelby Joy with the kill attempt there, didn't quite. Point is awarded to the Bears, double hit there for the Polars. So up front now for the Polars, we have Jenner, Vang, and Joy. On the other side with the Bears countering, they have Adebisi, Olsen, and Keeling, a sophomore outside hitter. And that serve is a little bit too much for the Polars to handle there, as Brenna Hobbs couldn't quite get it up on the serve, so that'll be an ace. And the Bears are separating themselves just a little bit from the Polars. Smart play to go right back to the same spot there. And the spike attempt there from Joy hit the flag on the net there. So that's counted as being out of bounds, and the serve returns to the Bears. So the Polars having a little bit of difficulty handling the serves from the Bears here. As Adebisi gets up for the spike and instead does a little bit of a change-up and tips it over here to the corner. So the Bears continue their run as Hill goes back for the serve. Sends it to the opposite side this time. Jenner with the kill attempt, or spike attempt. That one's blocked by the Polars as it'll go back. And Giski's bump was hit over. And the Polars were unable to handle it, so another serve coming up here for the Bears. That one is a little bit too strong. So things reset a little bit now. The Polars will have their first serve in a while here. As Shelby Joy goes back. Nice serve there. Olsen with the set. Adebisi with the up, and she smacks it down for the Bears. So that change in service didn't exactly last long as the Bears get it right back off the nice bump set spike from Adebisi up front. Isabel Martin will now get her first chance at serving. Vang with the up and didn't quite handle it properly, so it's bumped over. Bears get a free ball and it goes into the net. Was untouched there by Jenner up front as it was cleanly hit into the net. So the Polars get another chance here at serving. It'll be Hobbs on the serve. Gustafson with the spike across, and that's dug out there by Hobbs. Gustafson with another chance, and that one lands for the point. Deflected off of Jenner and Vang's hands up front. So the point is awarded to the Bears. As they continue their run here, and that one's going to be a little bit too strong. You can tell right off the hand. Just a bit too much there. So the serve returns to Jenner. Alara Jenner, if I remember correctly, it's been a couple of years since we've covered the Polars as substitution takes place now, and it'll be Jayana Meisner checking back into the front row for the Polars. Alara Jenner's serve didn't quite make it over the net. So going back for the Bears now will be Annika Olsen for her second round of serves. And a let serve that just barely makes it over the net still counts. And the Bears take a 19-10 lead. New set of defensive specialists, I believe, in the back row for the Polars as we have Maya Gustafson back there. So Gustafson's on both teams, I believe. Yeah, Gustafson's on both teams. Could be a relation, not entirely sure. That one falls short on the Polar side, so the Bears are awarded the point. And Olsen will get her next serve. Jenner with the up. Bang with the bump, and right back to Jenner. A nice return there by the Bears. Oh, nice block up front. Combination there. Ooh, another combination block from the Polars. Jenner with a nice save. And it's tipped over there by Gustafson for the Polars. Hobbs gets it up, Jenner from the back row. And we're finally getting a first volley, it seems like almost in this entire match. It's Gustafson. Oh! The left-handed spike there from Kylie Gustafson. And it was a little too hot to handle for Hobbs of the Polars. But that was a nice volley we had going there for a while. But nonetheless, Olsen with her third straight serve. Jenner with the dig, Vang with the up. And a little teardrop over by Jarosowicz. The Bears with the return. Splits the legs of our tripod, and It was a bit, just landed just outside the line over there, so the serve will return to the Polars. Brianna Vang now with a little bit of a change-up serve on the return there for the Bears. That was a great spike that lands in the middle of the Polars defense. Bria Hill with the spike for the Bears. Gustafson now with the serve for the Bears. I like that strategy there by the Polars, implementing the bump set and go right back to the player that bumped it. So Jarosowicz had the initial dig. It was set back right to Jarosowicz, and she attacks from the right side to give the Polars a point. Jarosowicz now on the serve. They've been attacking that left side really hard with their serves. Ooh. And that one was not blocked by the Polars up front. It went cleanly into the net, so the point is awarded back to the Bears, and they will I stand corrected, excuse me, since it went cleanly into the net. It's the Polars that get the point, my mistake. Ooh, nice recovery there by Olsen to save that one. Ooh, and the spike from Jarosowicz didn't quite make it over the net. It'll be Stadther with the serve here for the Bears. Adebisi got up on the block there for that one and says, no, sir, and puts it right down on the Polar side. And we get our first set point here for White Bear Lake. That one lands in bounds. So we have 11 set points to go here for the Bears. It'll be Vang on the serve for the Polars, and that one is a little bit too far. So the Bears claim the first set with a 25-14 victory. And the way that that one played out, the Polars just couldn't quite seem to handle a lot of the spikes that were coming across from the Bears. Up front, Adebisi and Gustafson have a little bit of a height advantage over the likes of Jenner and Vang and Jarosowicz for the Polars. So the Polars will have to find a way to make up for that height difference in the second set, as Stephanie Blanda talks to her players now in between sets and try to come up with a different strategy, because it doesn't seem like the Polars will be able to win at the battles at the net just for distinct height advantage. But we'll take a little bit of a break here and come back to you with the second set. This is Bear and Polar Volleyball on SEC Sports. Welcome back to White Bear Lake South Campus as we get ready for the second set here between the White Bear Lake Bears and North St. Paul Polars. North St. Paul rolling out the same starters that they had at the beginning of the match with Jenner, Meisner, Vang, and we'll get a couple others for you here as we go along. Hobbs in the back, Brenna Hobbs. And to cap it off, Joy for the Polars. On the other side for the Bears, we have Annika Olsen, who will now be serving. Gustafson up front with Stadther. And Hill. So up front for the Bears again, that's Hill, Gustafson, and Stadther. Olsen in the back. On libero is Giske. And to cap it off, the other defensive specialist is Isabel Martin. Spike attempt there for the Bears is dug out nicely by Jenner, and she gets it right back and will send it back across. Olsen with the set, and Hill with the spike for the Bears as she gets the kill. Annika Olsen, the senior setter for the Bears, has been doing a nice job of setting up the hitters and middle blockers up front, the outside hitters and middle blockers and right side hitters up front for the Bears as they get another point there and quickly race out to a 3-1 lead in this one. Gustafson serving for the Bears. Jenner with the dig, Vang with the set. On the spike is Joy. Dug out there. This one's got to go a long ways to get across, and it is sent across nicely by Giske. Hobbs with the spike. Oh, Giske almost had the nice dig there for the Bears, but couldn't quite get it. So that will be a kill for the Polars. Hobbs. Substitution now as checking in on the serve is Angelina Vang for the Polars. I can't get it. Oh, I tried. The ball came right towards me there. I couldn't quite reach it with my left hand. But nonetheless, it's the Bears who claim the point on that one as the serve was a bit too much to handle. The Polars here going with an interesting 4 up front and only 2 in the back approach to receiving the serves as Jenner there tried to get it across, but the referee says that it hit the net cleanly and the Bears didn't touch it, so that'll be 4 hits for the Polars. And the Bears are awarded the serve. Stadther with the serve across as it's Brady Keeling who goes up for the block on that one for the Bears. Ooh, and an ace there for the Bears as that one just sneaks in the back line. That'll be an ace for Ella Stadther of the Bears. They have pretty well controlled play throughout as she hits a change-up serve. Nice set there, but it's called a throw there on the Polars. So the point will be awarded to White Bear Lake. Polars doing everything they can here to change things up on the serve receive, as that time around they had what looked like 4 in the back. Spike attempt here, and there's a kill for Shelby Joy of the Polars. Joy now will get the serve. And that one couldn't quite be dug out by Kylie Gustafson. So that's an ace for the Polars as they attempt to mount a comeback here early on in the second set. Ooh, left-handed back row spike attempt there from Gustafson is dug out nicely by the Polars. but Hobbs couldn't quite get the fingers on it, so it falls. And the libero will check back into the back row here for the Polars, as that's Maya Gustafson, not to be confused with the Bears' Kylie Gustafson, Maya Gustafson, Kyla Gustafson. But we play on. Nice block there by Adebisi, as she's been dominant up front at the net for the Bears, as she'll get an attempt at a kill here. But the changeup was dug out by the Polars, and the pass attempt from the back row there for Vang didn't quite make it. So that'll be an error on the Polars. And it'll be Bria Hill headed back for the serve. And Hill didn't quite make it. Service error there. Returns back over to the Polars. Yenner Vang and Jarosowicz up front for the Polars now, as that's an ace for the Polars. Hobbs on the serve. Just a sophomore for the Polars, so she'll be most likely on the team for a couple more years now, one would think. As Olsen attempted to, it was a little bit of an awkward dig that headed her way that she couldn't quite get up, so it's sent into the net. Hobbs will get another serve as the Polars keep climbing back into this one. Spike goes a little bit too far there for Brady Keeling of the Bears. So Hobbs with her fourth straight set. Coach Blanda calling out plays here to Yenner up front, as that one goes a little bit too far. So a stretch there of 3 good serves in a row for Brenna Hobbs. The last one goes just a little bit too far, and we get a substitution now for the Bears, as checking in for the serve is Isabel Martin. And that one is rejected by the Polars up front. That's Kylie Gustafson who went up for the block. Alara Yenner making the case that she went into the net, and in Yenner's defense, it kind of did look like her fingertips caught the net a little bit, but the referee saw it differently. That's why I'm sitting here and he's up there. That one couldn't be handled by the Bears, so the point will be awarded to North St. Paul, as we get a substitution here for the Polars, as checking out is Vang and checking back in is Meisner. And Alara Yenner will serve it here. Gustafson goes up for the kill, but that's dug out nicely by Gustafson. Gustafson to Gustafson. Ooh, Adebisi with the strong swing there, but it's dug out. Olsen with the up, Gustafson with the swing. And North St. Paul went into the net, so the Bears are awarded the points regardless. It was the FAR referee who made the call on that one, saying the Polars went up into the net. Spike attempt, oh, and it's the kill there for Jarosowicz. Jarosowicz up front for the Polars gets the kill, as it deflects off of Kylie Gustafson. The front row for the Bears has really been looking strong this entire match. As Yenner attempts the kill, and that is called in by the line judge there. Oh, excuse me, that was Jarosowicz getting the kill there for the Polars. Olsen with the up. Gustafson gets the kill there for the Bears. Set 1, final score was 25-14. This one a little bit closer as of now, as we have a 14-11 Bears lead. David Schuyler bringing you Bear and Polar action on this Tuesday night here in September. Early high school sports action. as the Polars are looking for their first win on the season, and the Bears are looking to get back above 500. That was Jarosowicz, who tried the change-up serve and couldn't quite creep it over the net. Substitution coming in now for the Bears as Brady Keeling checks back in. She will head up front. And a teardrop over the net by Shelby Joy results in a point for the Polars. Subbing back in will be Vang, and she will head back and get the serve now for North St. Paul. Ooh, we had a little double attempt at it up there from the Polars up front. Admirable effort as it was blocked, but couldn't quite get it on the second try there. So the point goes back the way of the Bears, and on the serve now will be Stadther. Stadther with a little bit of a slider serve. And Yenner goes up and she smacks it down. She smacked that thing harder than Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. Shelby Joy on the serve now for the Polars. Oh, I thought we were going to get another one back the other way from Bria Hale. She was completely lined up for that one, but jumped just a little bit too early. So Joy will get her second serve in a row. And a timeout, our first timeout of the entire contest here, as Coach Mackenzie Leverty had seen enough for the Bears. And North St. Paul certainly making things interesting here in this one as we have a 16-15 match. Just a little over halfway through the second set. Of course, things are not timed here in volleyball. First to 25. In the first set, it was White Bear Lake with the 25-14 victory. But Coach Blanda for the Polars has certainly managed to calm her team down in this set. And they've kept pace with the Bears. As they now have gone on a little run and have the next serve come in here. So Shelby Joy will head back as she gets the serve. The Bears countering with 3 in the back and 3 up front. I'm sure that has some kind of fancy name in the volleyball terms, but I don't know all the different positioning sets. As Yenner goes up for the hit, and that is blocked by Adebisi. She knew that one. As soon as it went back across the net, she touched it and began smiling, and she ends up getting the point for the Bears. Adebisi's been really strong up front in the middle of the net for the Bears all night long. That serve goes into the middle of the net, so it'll head back the way of the Polars. And Brenna Hobbs will get another chance at serving. Hobbs with a fastball there, but it's dug out nicely. And Gustafson with the back row spike. Almost caught the ceiling here. Adebisi opted for the spike attempt, but didn't land. Oh, and the Polars with a little bit of miscommunication. Hobbs was looking at Vang there in the back row. But by the time she made the decision that she had to go for it, it was a little bit too late. So the point will be claimed by the Bears, and heading back to serve now is Martin. And that'll be an ace for Martin. The Polars now running with a 2 up front, 4 in the back approach. I wonder if they're trying to give Hobbs a little bit of help back there. It kind of seems like they're trying to move Alara Yenner around as much as possible, because she kind of seems to be the focal point of this Polars team. So yeah, 4 across the back right now with Vang, Yenner, Hobbs, and Gustafson. As Yenner with the dig attempt, oh! Gustafson came up and smacked her in the face as the ball was sitting right there. But Yenner doesn't seem to mind at all as she's laughing it off. So a couple of points the Bears' way now, and things will shake up slightly on the defensive end for the Polars. Olsen with the up, Adebisi with the kill. And after a run there, as it was the last time out that we had from the Bears, it was 16-15, and now it reads 22-16, so that would be 6-2 run, I believe, here for the Bears. 6-1, excuse me, 6 to run here for White Bear Lake. So the Polars use their timeout, and they'll slow things down and try to regroup here. And on the other side, Coach Mackenzie Leverty gives a couple of tips to the Bears. Coach Leverty, this is actually her first season for the Bears. She grew up and attended high school actually in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and was the first Hutchinson Tiger volleyball player to get all-state recognition for them. The Bears, she's hoping that she can get the Bears back above 500 for the first time in a while, as the past couple of seasons they've been below the 500 mark, last year going 7-15. So hopefully she can turn things around a little bit here for the Bears program. Certainly looks like they have the weapons to do it. As we get a spike attempt there from Jarosowicz, that goes a little bit too far. So after the timeout, the Bears get the point. They are just a couple points away now from claiming the second set. It's Martin, I believe, with her 5th serve in a row, and Annika Olsen thought that that had landed in bounds, but the line judge said differently. So the Polars will get the serve right back, and Alara Jenner will head back and try to get a couple of points rolling here for the Polars. Adebisi with the kill attempt, and it has just never failed for the Bears. Boy, you talk about consistency and confidence up front. It seems like every time that Olsen sets it up for Adebisi there, she's able to just slam it down. So it'll be set point here for the Bears, as they will have 8 set points to work with. And there it is. The serve couldn't quite be handled by the Polars there. So the Bears take the second set. They now lead 2-0. And will look to make it 3-0 here heading into the second set. So first set, 25-14. Second set, 25-17. And the Bears have certainly been cruising through this one, as we will now get some youth volleyball night festivities here for the Bears. We'll see if Coach Blanda can't get her players motivated as they come back here for the third set and look to try and get the Polars on a roll, or if the Bears will be able to coast to a clean sweep victory here tonight. We'll be back in just a little bit to bring you the third set. This is SEC Sports Action. Welcome back to White Bear Lake South Campus as we get set to bring you the third set here of Class 4A volleyball action between the White Bear Lake Bears and North St. Paul Polars. I am David Schuyler, coming to you from not exactly downtown White Bear Lake. Downtown's over by the actual White Bear Lake area on a gorgeous early fall evening here in the East Metro. Picturing a map in my head, East Metro. In any case, we're getting ready for the third set here. First set was a 25-14 Bears victory. Second set was a 25-17 White Bear Lake Bears victory. So we are getting ready to kick things off. It'll be Annika Olsen heading back for the Bears on the serve. For the Bears, it's Olsen, Martin, Gieske, Stadther, Gustafson, and I'll get the last one for you here in a second as Vang hits it up and Jenner hits it across, and it's dug out there by Martin. Spike attempt by Gustafson. No dice. Jenner returns. Olsen with the up on the, and they try the other side, and that one doesn't work. Hobbs with the up as we get a nice volley to start off the third set here. Gustafson with another attempt. Oh! I certainly wish we could see the replay on that one, because from my vantage point, it looked like it caught the line in the back there, but that one's called out, and the Polars, for the first time in this match, claim the first point of a set. That one hit the referee's chair. So it'll be Kylie Gustafson with the serve. And it's the Polars who get the point there to break the tie early on. Jarosowicz will head back for the serve here on the Polars. For the Polars, excuse me. Nice dig in the back row from Jenner, but all she could do is cower down there. She couldn't quite get it across to her teammates. But they're laughing about it. It's all good. I'm just glad they didn't steamroll her over, so the Bears get one right back. Heading back to serve for the Bears is Stadther. Little teardrop attempt there from Meisner, didn't quite go, and that maybe is the first time that I've seen Adebisi miss one this entire time. I missed that she had checked into the front row. Now that she is in, she certainly doesn't hesitate to make her presence known. Lined up for the kill attempt there, couldn't quite go. So instead, it will be Angelina Vang serving for the Polars. Brianna Vang with a nice set there, and Jenner was able to tip it over. Olsen tries the quick set, but the Polars were ready for it. Great dig attempt there, or great dig from Keeling. And I believe it was called too many hits there for the Bears. So a second set in a row coming for Angelina Vang. Olsen with the nice up to save that one. Gustafson with the back row hit, but Jenner with the ups to block it, and somehow Adebisi keeps it alive. Jenner will try again. And that one couldn't be handled by the back row of the Bears. Couldn't quite catch the number there on who tipped that one out, but nonetheless, it'll be a third straight serve for Angelina Vang. The Polars raced out to the first lead that they've had, I believe, this entire time. White Bear Lake perhaps trying to move a bit too quickly here as Bria Hill hits that one into the net. And it's North who finds themselves with a nice bit of a lead here. 4 straight serves for Angelina Vang. Adebisi with another one into the net. A 5-0 run now for the Polars. I believe that's 3 straight hitting errors, 4 straight hitting errors for the Bears as Adebisi couldn't connect on that one. So we'll get a substitution now to try and slow things down a little bit. Is checking in for the Bears is Kennedy Thomas. I believe the first time I've seen her in the back row. Not fantastic set placement there, but nonetheless, it still works out for the Bears as Brady Keeling was able to get that one and do a little bit of a curveball down. As Bria Hill will serve for the Bears. Bang with the nice up. And that was called the double hit there. There's a little bit of a carry for North St. Paul. So Bria Hill will continue the serve for the Bears as they try to climb back into this one. That was a knuckleball serve there. As Joy goes up for the hit. Adebisi wanted it, couldn't quite work around Olsen. Olsen gave her a look afterwards like, what were you doing there? Perhaps a little bit of confusion as Adebisi couldn't decide where she wanted to go around Olsen. As the students try to get their team motivated a little bit here. And instead it's yet another hitting error on the Bears. That's gotta be, I don't have a specific count here, but that's gotta be 6 or 7 hits into the net for the Bears during this set. And that serve goes into the net for Shelby Joy, so the point will go back the way of the Bears as we get a double substitution coming in here as Martin and Kylie Gustafson check back in for White Bear Lake. And libero Maya Gustafson checks back into the back row for the Polars. Jenner with it. I thought she was going to go up for the hit, but decided against it and set it over instead, but didn't quite fake out the Bears. Great dig there from Jarosowicz. She gets the kill attempt as well, but that's saved. Kylie Gustafson with the hit, and that one sails out of bounds. Just like every single one of my tee shots on the golf course this summer. So Hobbs with the serve, and that one goes into the net. Heading back to serve now for the Bears will be Gieske, excuse me. And that was a great block front there for the Bears, provided by Ella Stadther. Jenner thought about going up for the block, but plays it smartly instead. Tip over attempt by Olsen is returned back by Jarosowicz. Kylie Gustafson goes up for a kill, and that lands cleanly on the floor. A great hit there by Kylie Gustafson results in a kill for the Bears, and they continue to roll here as they climb back into this one. Gieske with another serve. Jenner goes up and it deflects right off the Bears' fingertips, results in a point for the Polars. So if the Polars, if they can continue to roll here, they can slowly climb back and chip away into this thing. 1 point at a time here in volleyball, obviously. But in the first 2 sets, they quite honestly were never really in it as the Bears just sort of ran away with both. So if they can stay close and just continue to chip away at points and keep the lead, could work out nicely for them. That one didn't quite make it to Jenner in the back row, so a kill awarded there to Kylie Gustafson off the net, and the Bears get one right back. Olsen now with the serve for White Bear Lake. Oh, a little bit too strong, just a bit as it landed right outside the white line in the back. Substitution coming back in for the Polars is Shelby Joy. The Polars have been rotating all of their players that are currently wearing uniforms on their bench. Little bit of a short roster for the Polars this year. Actually, I believe the only player that I have yet to see on the floor for them is number 1, which unfortunately I'm not seeing a name for her on the roster, so that must be a JV player that steps up for varsity as needed. Otherwise, every other player I have seen rotate in at some point or another. Gustafson now with the big spike. Beautiful play there for the Bears, and it results in a point. Gustafson with the left-handed swing, and that came through, cleared both of the defenders. Nobody could get their hands on it. And it's a 14-10 lead for the Polars. Headed back to serve for the Bears now, Kennedy Thomas. This has got to be the most amount of left-handed serves I've ever seen in a volleyball match. I believe Gustafson's been left-handed, Kennedy Thomas is left-handed. Maybe 1 or 2 others I think I had seen. And it usually is an anomaly, but seeing quite a few of it coming from both teams here. As Thomas will line up again for another serve, as she had an ace there for the Bears. Yenner with the back row kill attempt. Olsen's got to run a long ways to set that one up, and Thomas will send it over. Yenner now with a little, wow, that was a great curveball from Yenner on that one. It just barely got over the fingertips of Stadther and Hill in the front row for the Bears. And a great play there for North St. Paul. A long return there on the third hit for the Bears. And oh, that one was touched and landed out. That would have landed out of bounds for the Polars. But Gieske decided to try and make a play on that one. I can't exactly blame her, so it results in a point for North St. Paul, and they maintain a 16-11 lead over the Bears. So looking at how things could play out moving forward here, this is a very young early season in the Minnesota State High School League. For the Bears in the Suburban East, it's incredibly top-heavy. As you look at some of the teams here, Eastridge is typically ranked in the top 10. You got Forest Lake up there. Stillwater, Irondale. Last year, I mean, a good indication of how this conference plays out is last season, Irondale finished in 7th place in the conference and still had a 19-9 record overall. Stillwater's usually pretty good. Roseville's usually good. They typically find themselves at the top of Section 4A at the end of the year. As mentioned, North St. Paul made it to state a couple of seasons ago, so they've typically been strong in volleyball, but after they had that turnover a couple of seasons ago, haven't quite rebuilt to that point yet. But the Polars last season also started off 0-4, and then as soon as they got around to conference play, managed to build things a bit. And they finished 5-2 in the Metro East Conference last year and 10-12 overall. So despite the fact the Polars have started out 0-5-1 this year, I have to think that things will turn around a little bit for them as it continues to go. And White Bear Lake certainly looks strong on their end of things. I mean, they've got a lot of returning players that I recognize from last year, and they're very strong up front from Adebisi, Gustafson, Hill, Olsen, so on. So I think the Bears certainly could contend in the Suburban East Conference last year, and they did great things last year as well, beating the likes of Stillwater for the very first time, as well as competing with some of those other schools at the top. But rolling in things here now, the Polars will go for a second straight serve here, as is Jarosowicz on the serve. Olsen with the up and kill attempt here. Oh, it couldn't quite play it as it goes into the face of Brianna Vang. Adebisi will rotate back in as libero checks out. So the Bears up front now have Adebisi, Hill, and oh, that's off the back of the head of Keeling, I was just about to say. Keeling, Hill, and Adebisi up front, and I'm not sure what that says about what, I believe it was Thomas who served that one. I didn't quite catch it because I was trying to read the players at the front, but I'm not sure what that says about their relationship, that she just smacks her in the back of the head with the volleyball, but hopefully they can still be friends afterwards as BC just goes up. Oh, the point is actually rewarded to the Polars. You can see the look of frustration on BC's face there. She thought she had a clean kill, as did I, but she did on the follow-through smack the net, so instead it goes the way of North St. Paul. And that one was tipped by the Polars. That was Jarosowicz in the back who couldn't quite get the dig there. So Hill gets the serve for White Bear Lake, and that one goes into the net, service error. And I don't have official records here at the announcer's table of service errors, hitting errors, et cetera, but this set, without question, White Bear Lake has had way more errors. There's no error about that one as BC goes up and lands the kill. But they've had a lot more errors in this set than they did either of the first two. And the first two they won rather cleanly, winning by 9 points or 11 points and 8 points between the two of them. But now it's the Polars who find themselves 4 points away from a victory. So hasn't been quite as clean for the Bears. Perhaps they thought they were going to coast to victory and just kind of settled in and tried to just coast, but hasn't quite gone that way this set. So Martin heads back for the serve now. Barely sneaks that one over the net, but it's a nice dig there for Jarosowicz. Jenner with the change-up attempt, but it's dug out. A beautiful running across save. That was a great up by Olsen right into the spike of Gustafson, and it lands in the middle of the floor. Point, White Bear Lake. Jenner now with her turn at a block attempt, or at a spike attempt, excuse me, but the block on the other side went just out of bounds for the Bears. The Polars certainly not going away quietly in this one as we get a shoe tie here. So we get a chance to slow things down, catch our breath a little bit. And it's Hobbs who will get the serve for the Polars. Gustafson will take a crack at a spike, and oh! Sliding attempt there by Hobbs to try and get that one. Results in a point for White Bear Lake. Not quite sure what the miscommunication there was for the Polars, as Shelby Joy, the ball was hit right at her and she just kind of backed away from it. I'm not sure if she thought somebody was going to step up and hit it or what the miscommunication was there. But nonetheless, another serve here coming for the Bears. And another lapse for the Polars. 3 straight points here. Gieske tried for the lob serve, and you're not going to win the height difference there at the net, but the Polars come right back, try to sneak it in. Oh, a great couple of saves. Oh, that one just snuck out of bounds. That was a great effort by the Bears, Gustafson, but she couldn't quite tip it over, landed out of bounds. A point goes the way of the Polars. Polars need 2. Bears need 6. Jenner with her first serve in quite a while. Good dig there as Kylie Gustafson gets the spike attempt, and a nice dig by Hobbs. Jenner now with the change-up, and the Bears haven't really been able to handle those change-ups. Great point there for Jenner. Set point here for North St. Paul. So 6 set points here for North St. Paul to try and make this a 2-1 match. Ooh, they couldn't quite be handled by the Bears. Not sure who that is up front for the Bears that checked in, number 24. I don't have her. It must be Lauren Westerhouse who had checked in off of the JV. But nonetheless, that couldn't be handled, went into the net. So the Polars claimed their first set of the match by a 25-19 margin. And we will have a fourth set. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to take a quick break here, but coming up after this, we will have the fourth set as the Bears look to make it a 3-1 victory, and the Polars look to make things square and take this to 5 sets. You're watching White Bear Lake Volleyball on SCC Sports. Lake Volleyball here on SCC Sports on a Tuesday night here in September. After 3 sets of play, the Bears couldn't pull off the sweep, and North St. Paul was able to get one back. So we have the way things stand. White Bear Lake 2 sets and North St. Paul 1 set as they look to make things even here. Looking ahead for the White Bear Lake Bears, it's Suburban East time after this, as they will face off against East Ridge on the 15th. And they got Park of Cottage Grove, Irondale, and Woodbury going forward. So they've moved off of the non-conference slate early on in the season, as this is the last game that will conclude non-conference matchups. And these two teams don't normally play each other, as this is actually the first time that they've matched up since 2018, and I couldn't find any matchups on record before that. It was North St. Paul who took that matchup 3-0 last time around, so the Bears are hoping to get their revenge here as they conclude their non-conference slate. Nice save there in the back row by Gieske, and it's Gustafson who's able to send it back over. So it'll be a free ball for the Polars as Jarosowicz has the kill attempt, and that one sails a little bit too far. The referee shaking his head here. I clearly missed something, and he must be explaining it to Stephanie Blanda. But no, I don't know what I could have possibly missed there, because I thought it just sailed out of bounds cleanly and resulted in a point for the Bears, so I don't know what the confusion would have been. In any case, 2 straight points for the Bears to kick off this 4th set, and Annika Olsen will serve it across. Vang with the up, Jarosowicz with the kill, and it lands. Deflects off a couple of Bears up front. Gustafson and not sure. Oh, that's Westerhouse. Westerhouse there for the Bears up front. So it deflected off the 2 of them. And Jarosowicz will get a serve here for the Polars. Hill sends it across. And Jenner will return it for the Polars. A little bit of a changeup that the Bears were ready for. Great dig there by Jenner as she saves it. And she gets it back across. What a great effort there from the Polars. Coming back now is Gustafson. Jenner with the up. Vang passes it across, and it's Joy who sends it. We got a nice volley going here now. Back row spike attempt there from Vang. It nicks the fingertips up front there of Gianna Meisner, and Jenner couldn't quite save it. So after that lengthy volley, results in a point for White Bear Lake. And we get a double substitution as checking in now is Kennedy Thomas, and she'll go right back for the serve. And up front, it'll be Brady Keeling. Brianna Vang sends it across. It could have been a free ball, but it was a little awkward there to handle for the Bears. What's the call going to be here? North St. Paul goes into the net. So despite the fact that it hits the ground on the Bears side of things, still results in a point for White Bear Lake, as the Polars got a little too close to the net. And there's an ace for Kennedy Thomas for the Bears. Couple of errors, couple of kills, and one ace early on here as the Bears race out to a 5-1 lead in this one. Brianna Vang with the up, and it was a tip over attempt, but it was a little bit too close to the net for the Polars. As Jenner attempts to, she talks to Gianna Meisner right after that one and tells her, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're still in this. We still got this. It's early. We got this. Great leadership there from Alana Jenner, and just like that, they come right back, and the Polars pick up their second point of the set. Checking back in for the Polars will be Angelina Vang. That one sent up sky high, as racing all the way across the court is Olsen for the up. Free ball here for the Polars as it's Jenner, but that one is blocked. Jenner with another up, and Hobbs tries to send it across. Nice save there. Olsen with the set. On the spike is Hill, but that's blocked by Jenner. And it results in a point for the Polars. Couldn't quite have the save there from Keeling. Side out for the Polars now. Oh, excuse me. Actually, they still maintain the serve that they had as 2 points in a row for them. Going up for the kill on that one is Lauren Westerhouse. Westerhouse now will get her first serve of the entire match, as Jenner thought about going up for the spike there, but wisely tips it over. Olsen will spike it across. Back row spike coming here from Angelina Vang. Hill with the attempt, and that one goes into the net. Shelby Joy heads back now to serve for the Polars. Classic 3-3 defense look here for White Bear Lake, as they couldn't quite return that one. Joy sends it across. And the return didn't quite make it up to the setter. So a free ball for the Polars as Jenner sends it across, and that's a little bit too much. So yet another set where things are even early on. Most of them, honestly, so far have played. The first one really was the one where White Bear Lake ran away with it, as they won that one 25-14. But the other three have been close throughout, and this one is no exception as Jenner tips it over and gets the teardrop point for North St. Paul. North St. Paul now claiming 4 of the last 6 points, I believe. as they climb back into this one, and it'll be Brenna Hobbs who gets the serve. And that's an ace for the Polars. And yet another ace for the Polars. Hobbs is on a roll now as the Polars have climbed all the way back and now find themselves tied with White Bear Lake. So after trailing 8-3 in this one, the Polars have mounted a return all the way back, and just like that, it's side out for White Bear Lake, and they will get the serve. Checking back in now for the Bears, Kylie Gustafson and Isabel Martin. The Bears do seem to be the most lethal when they have Gustafson and Adebisi up front, along with Olsen to provide the setting. They won't get much of a crack at that offensive pairing, or trio rather, the offensive trio, as the serve there from Gieske goes into the net. So it'll be Alara Jenner serving for North St. Paul. Great dig there from Olsen and Gustafson on the spike, the flat-footed spike, I might add. Jarosowicz goes up for the kill, but that is blocked by Adebisi and Olsen at the net. Point, White Bear Lake. Four in the back, two up front for North St. Paul as Gieske serves. And that was a beautiful serve that landed right in front of Shelby Joy. You could see the frustration in her face as she thought the ball was going to come right to her, but it just kept sinking and lands for the ace. Jenner now with the teardrop tip attempt, and the referee catches it. Point for North St. Paul. Great reflexes there from the referee. Gustafson with the kill attempt, and that is clean. Beautiful spike there for the Bears from Kylie Gustafson, the outside, the junior outside hitter for White Bear Lake. Heading back to serve now for White Bear Lake, Annika Olsen. Jarosowicz tried to tip that one over, but couldn't quite get it over the outstretched hands of the front line for the Bears. And there's a clean kill for North St. Paul the other way. Shelby Joy delivers the punch for the Polars. One of the White Bear Lake students was hanging onto the ball back there and didn't quite know what to do with it until the referee blew the whistle, and then all the students started giving him a hard time, like, dude, throw the ball. In any case, Hill goes up and tries to tip it over. Two Bears collided on the defensive end, but they're able to regroup, and Jenner can't quite play that one. Gustafson helps get the point and then rotates out for the Bears, and coming in is Kennedy Thomas to take the serve for White Bear Lake. Vang with the set. It's dug out by the back row of the Bears. This will be a free ball for North St. Paul as Vang sets it up. And Joy with the spike attempt, and there it is. Shelby Joy delivers the kill for North St. Paul. Haven't been keeping track of kills here throughout this one because of how fast-paced the action has been. But were I to have been at this point here now in the fourth set with the 15-12 lead for White Bear Lake, were I keeping track, I would have to think that White Bear Lake has dominated in the kills department of things, as their front line has kind of been free swinging the entire time, and they've had a lot more balls that have landed in the middle floor of the Polars. But nonetheless, North St. Paul has battled back and certainly made a match out of this, as we're sitting at 15-12 here in the fourth set. And point awarded to White Bear Lake. As a fist is held up by the referees, not quite sure what that call means. I think they just ran out of hits on the side of North St. Paul, but nonetheless, serve for the Bears. Jenner will try to tip it over, but that one got a little bit too close to the net. Westerhouse continues the serve now for White Bear Lake. Jenner with the spike, and that lands on the side of the Bears. Great swing there from Alara Jenner. Shelby Joy serving for the North St. Paul now, as Olsen gets it up. And from the back row there, Keeling tried the kill. Jenner with the tip back the other way. And Adebisi tried to save that one after Olsen's hit went into the net, but it sails out of bounds, resulting in a point for the Polars, and Shelby Joy will head back for another serve. If the Polars can continue to climb here and force a game 5, it really would be something, as the first two sets weren't really close. But we'll see as things continue to go here. Adebisi sort of whiffed on that one a little bit, so the Polars play it. And that one lands in bounds as Keeling picks up the kill for White Bear Lake. The Bears are rolling now, playing their style of volleyball, not making as many mistakes. And the Polars just trying to hang on to force a game 5, and that is not where Jenner wanted to put that one, as she's smiling afterwards, because she set up blessing Adebisi instead of her own team, and Adebisi slams it down harder than Michael Jordan used to in the NBA, not volleyball. Michael Jordan didn't play volleyball. We all know that. Moving on. Vang with the up, and a couple of tips both ways. And that one sails out of bounds. Keeling couldn't quite get it to go, so another point goes the way of North St. Paul. This one has been back and forth, as neither team has had more than 2 serves in a row for a while now, and Hobbs will look to get that going for North St. Paul. Keeling with the flat-footed spike attempt, and that one sails out of bounds. Keeling opts for the bump over here as Joy sets it up nicely. Jenner hoping for the spike, but it wasn't quite there. Olsen now sending it back. Deflected at the line. Jarosowicz sends it back over, and it's dug out there. Vang now with the bump, and also Vang with the set. Angelina Vang to Brianna Vang, and that one gets sent back across as we've got a nice volley going here. Brianna Vang sets up Jenner, and it goes out of bounds. The line judge calls it. That looked like a little bit of a tough one to make, but the line judge very much looked confident when he raised the flag on that one. So the point will go the way of White Bear Lake, and they find themselves 5 points away from a victory. Oh, fumble there. See if this affects the spike or the serve at all for Isabel Martin. No, but the whew. I think Vang got lucky there. She kind of set up the other team a little bit. Or set up White Bear Lake a little bit, I should say. Angelina Vang now sets it up. Kill. What's the call here? Oh, double hit on White Bear Lake. Didn't quite catch that one, but apparently White Bear Lake had a double hit. So North St. Paul gets a point, and they are able to make a rotation as Jayana Meisner checks back in. And Alara Jenner will go back to serve. Olsen with the set. Gustafson with the spike, as we've gotten so accustomed to saying, but there's a nice dig there from Hobbs. And White Bear Lake gets the point anyways as a double hit is called. Gieske back to serve now for White Bear Lake. Hobbs couldn't quite play that cleanly. North St. Paul tries to make the most of it, but it's a free ball for White Bear Lake. And Gustafson with the spike. Great save there by Jarosowicz. Jarosowicz battling hard for this one. Seems to be doing it all for the Polars herself, but nonetheless, 1-0. I don't know what that call is. Both referees held up one finger in one hand and a fist in the other. But nonetheless, it results in a point for White Bear Lake. Gieske will look to keep things rolling. Change up now as Jarosowicz steps back to get that one. They all look at each other, and it's played over the net. Free ball here for the Bears as Olsen sets it up, and Westerhouse lays it down, and Hobbs can't quite play it. Point for White Bear Lake on the spike. Timeout, North St. Paul. 4 points in a row now, I believe, for White Bear Lake. As things sit at 23-17, the Bears are 2 points away from sealing this one up. Coming up for us here on SEC Sports going forward, this has been our fourth contest of the season so far, as we had Tartan and White Bear Lake soccer, Tartan football. Maybe this is the third one. I think I'm definitely forgetting one. But in any case, looking forward, we've got another volleyball match a week from now, as we've got a big rivalry coming up between Matamidi and Hill Murray, two teams that played in the section semifinals last year, followed by White Bear Lake football on Friday if I knew dates and had dates up in front of me, I'd let you know. But the following Friday, and then there'll be a soccer doubleheader the Thursday after that, as White Bear Lake takes on Woodbury. (4-2). Yet again, I don't know what that error is called in volleyball, but nonetheless, North St. Paul gets the point, and it'll be Brianna Vang serving. Free ball here for the Polars. Oh, and that one couldn't quite get over the net there from Jarosowicz, so the point goes the way of White Bear Lake. And we have match point here for White Bear Lake. 7 match points now. Big smile on the face of Olsen. Jenner decides to play that one. The set, and will it be Gustafson to end it? And she does just that. The big swing, just like we used to see from David Ortiz playing baseball back in the day. Gustafson ends it for the Bears, and they take the victory over North St. Paul. So White Bear Lake takes the 3-1 victory over the Polars. The Polars fought hard. They kept it close there in the final set, but nonetheless fall to the Bears by a final score in the last one of 25-18. So we get 25-14, 25-17, 19-25, and 25-18, the final in a 3-1 victory for White Bear Lake. Great performance from the Bears all around, but they really dominated things up front, and that really seemed to be the difference in this one, as they had a height difference that resulted in a lot of kills for the Bears, and the Polars couldn't quite overcome the difference there. So from White Bear Lake South Campus, this has been White Bear Lake Volleyball. We'll see you a week from now as the Matamidi Zephyrs take on the Hill Murray Pioneers in Metro East volleyball action. But until then, this has been White Bear Lake Bears Volleyball. I'm David Schuyler doing the announcing tonight down here on the floor. Up top on cameras, we got Clayton Johnson and Miranda Zabel. In the truck, we have Stephen Adams and Arlen Becker doing the directing and graphics, filling in for me tonight, since unfortunately we couldn't find anybody else to do the announcing. Once again, White Bear Lake defeats North St. Paul 3-1. Have a wonderful night, everybody.